Have you ever had the feeling that something big is about to happen, but you can't quite understand what it is? What if I told you that the world you know is on the verge of an unprecedented spiritual transformation, and that you have an essential role in this story? Stay here with me until the end, because what I'm going to reveal is not just a message, it's a warning, a preparation for what's to come. This could be the most important video you'll ever see. Ignoring it could cost you dearly, and not just on a physical level, but in the spiritual. Today the world faces an unprecedented crisis: the moral degradation, the attack on innocence, the spiritual emptying of institutions. Everything points to a change that cannot be ignored. Have you noticed these growing conflicts, natural disasters, the constant struggle within yourself? These are signs that we are entering a new era. And that is exactly why you are here now. This is no coincidence. If this message has reached you, it is because there's something you need to know, something that will transform the way you see your life, your faith, and the future. Don't think this is just another story about changes or challenges. What I'm going to share is powerful because it comes directly from revelations that span time, delivered to illuminate your journey, revelations that are already being fulfilled before our eyes. But be careful, it is not time for fear or hesitation. What is coming is great, and you have two choices. You can be a passive spectator and watch the collapse of the structures that you have known until today, or you can assume your role as a protagonist of this transformation, being an active part of the light that will renew everything around us. And there is more that I will reveal in this video. It can be the key to facing chaos and finding hope in the midst of darkness. I will show you the 3 fundamental pillars that support this spiritual journey, and how you can use them as protection and guide in the difficult times that are coming. Every second of this video matters. Every word you hear can be the difference between continuing to be lost or finding the right path. So I challenge you, watch until the end, give yourself that chance, don't turn it off now, because you might miss a message that can save not only your soul, but that of many people around you. Time is running out. Are you ready to know the truth? What you are about to hear may sound like something you already suspected, but have not yet been able to put into words. The world as we know it is falling apart, and no, it is not exaggeration. Each day brings new signs, and if you are attentive, you know exactly what I am talking about. The structures that supported our civilization are beginning to crumble. Values that were unshakable now seem fragmented. Moral degradation has taken over everyday life, and what was once sacred is now trivialized without shame. You notice this happening around you. Geopolitical conflicts grow like storms, families face direct attacks on their values, and religious institutions that should be a refuge are increasingly empty. And here is an important warning: this is not a coincidence. These changes are happening faster than we have ever seen, and none of this is by chance. What is before us is not just a crisis. It is a critical moment where your faith will be tested like never before. Lust walks freely in the light of day. The younger generations, who should be our hope, are being bombarded with empty information, being seduced by fleeting pleasures, and losing their sacred essence. And so I ask, have you ever felt that there is something very wrong? That what is happening in the world is much bigger than it appears? Because if so, you are not alone. We are on a spiritual battlefield. The power of prayer can guide your path, but this battlefield is not visible. It is not in the headlines or on social media. It is within us. Every choice, every thought, each attitude reflects the side we are feeding. Evil is no longer hidden, and the consequences of this are before our eyes. The end of spirituality, the emptying of religious vocations, the distancing from faith. What once seemed distant is now here. That's why you cannot ignore this message. The world is changing, and people who are not prepared will feel the impact in a devastating way. But pay attention, you are not alone, you have not been abandoned. Every soul that seeks the light will find protection and guidance in the revelations you are about to receive. These revelations are a beacon that can light your way in the midst of this dark age. Yes, there is hope, not for those who are paralyzed by fear, but for those who act. This is the time to learn, to strengthen yourself, to find the strength to resist and grow. Something important is happening, part of a bigger plan, a plan that, despite seeming scary, is an opportunity of spiritual transformation for each of us. But to understand this, you need to stay with me, because what comes next will show you that there is a path, and that you have a crucial role in it. So, are you ready to continue this journey? Did you know that there are messages that have come through centuries and continue to echo as clear warnings for what we are living now? Yes, they are not mere words or coincidences. These revelations carry a greater purpose. They prepare those who have the courage to listen and act. These messages are not intended for everyone. Many people have ignored them in the past. The result was devastating, but you are here, and if you have reached this point, it is because something inside you recognizes the urgency of what is being said. The signs are everywhere, from the revelations of Fatima to the events of Medjugorje. The divine messages have always had a pattern. They warn, guide, and bring hope. But there is one important thing you need to know: these revelations were not given to scare, but to awaken. Now see what is before us. The same signs that were announced decades, even centuries ago, are happening today so clearly that they cannot be ignored. Geopolitical conflicts, moral degradation, natural disasters. Everything converges to one unique moment in the history of humanity. And you know what this means? That we are not living in ordinary times. We are in an era of spiritual transition, and like every transition, it is accompanied by trials. The spiritual emptying of religious institutions, the attack on sacred values, and the destruction of innocence. These are not accidents, they are specific challenges that need to be faced. But why are these messages so urgent now? Because time is running out. This is not an apocalyptic catastrophe like you see in the movies, but a profound transformation where the future will be shaped by those who choose to listen, prepare and act. What was whispered in ages past has now become a cry to the Heavenly Mother. She warns us to be alert, to seek spiritual protection, because what is coming will not be easy. But here is the good news: you are not alone. Each divine message carries not only a warning but a promise. This promise is clear: those who keep the faith and turn to the light will find strength and protection to face what is to come. But here is a warning: these messages are not just for listening, they demand action. They ask that you make a decision now while there is still time. To close your eyes or continue living on autopilot is no longer an option. So I ask you, are you willing to see what many choose to ignore? Are you ready to accept the call that brought you here? Because what you do from here on out can define everything. Don't leave now. In the next few minutes, you will discover the 3 fundamental elements that sustain this era of transition, and how they can be your greatest defense against the approaching darkness. Are you ready? We are living in times that leave no room for doubt. The changes you see around you are not random, and their impact is not just in the physical world. 3 fundamental elements are shaping this era of transition, and understanding each of them is essential for you to be prepared. Pay attention, because what I am going to share now may be the map you need to get through this trying time. These 3 elements are not just signs of what is happening, but direct challenges to your faith, to its essence and its purpose. 1. Moral degradation. Never before have the fundamental values of humanity been so attacked. What was once seen as right and sacred is now treated as outdated or irrelevant. The lust that used to hide in the shadows now walks freely, corrupting even the youngest. You realize this is like a disease that spreads silently, infiltrating every aspect of society, in the media, in social networks, in schools. The loss of the sense of right and wrong is a powerful weapon, and it is being used to divert people from their true essence. 2. The attack on innocence. The young people, who should be the hope of the future, are being directly targeted by forces that seek to destroy their innocence. This happens in a subtle but constant way. Empty information bombards their minds, fleeting pleasures seduce their souls, and spiritual disconnection takes them away from their true purpose. Each day is a battle for their minds and hearts. They are led to believe that happiness lies in temporary things, while their spiritual roots are weakened. But there is something that needs to be said: as long as there are those who fight for them, not all is lost. 3. The spiritual emptying of religious institutions. Churches and institutions that were once beacons of light are facing an unprecedented crisis. Seminaries are empty, vocations are disappearing, and the deafening noise of materialism suffocates the divine call. And you know what is most dangerous? Many people believe that this is normal, that religious institutions and beliefs are no longer necessary. But this disconnection is creating a spiritual void that makes room for something much darker. These 3 elements, moral degradation, the attack on innocence, and spiritual emptiness, are not just individual problems, they are part of a larger plan, a spiritual battle that demands your attention and action now. But here is the crucial point: you are not powerless. These challenges, as daunting as they may seem, can be faced, and you have the tools for it. In the next few moments, you will discover the 3 fundamental pillars that can be your greatest protection on this journey. Each of them is a practical strategy that will help you face these challenges with courage and faith. Don't leave now. The battle is happening, and you have an essential role in it. Are you ready to know the spiritual weapons that can transform everything? Now that you have understood the external challenges, it is time to look within, because the biggest battle we face is not in the world around us. It is within ourselves. Each of us is fighting an internal battle. Do you feel it? Isn't it that invisible weight? That constant voice that whispers doubts, fears, and tries to convince you that you are not enough. This is true spiritual warfare. This silent battle defines who you are and who you can become. In a world plunged into darkness, it is not easy to keep the faith. There are days when hopelessness seems greater than any light. But here is the truth: these moments of internal crisis are actually invitations to a deeper transformation. Think about it: every difficult moment, every uncertainty, is an opportunity for strengthening. They are not proof that you are failing. They are proof that you are being prepared, that you are being healed for what is to come. And this preparation begins in the depths of your heart. It's so hard because we live in an age of distractions. We are bombarded by irrelevant information, temporary pleasures, and unrealistic expectations that try to fill a void that can only be filled in one way: through spiritual reconnection. But this reconnection requires courage. It requires you to look within and face your own demons: fear, doubt, discouragement. And here's an important warning: it is not easy, but it is necessary, because it is in internal battles that true warriors of light are born. Those who manage to overcome their own shadows become beacons for others. And here's something powerful: the more you face your internal challenges, the more prepared you are to deal with the external challenges that the world puts before you. But how to win this fight? The answer lies in 3 actions. Discern what is essential. Identify what really matters in your life and eliminate distractions that do not contribute to your spiritual growth. Strengthen your faith. No matter where you are spiritually, there is always room to grow. Seek knowledge. Go deeper into your heart and reconnect with the divine. Act. Even when afraid. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Now pay attention. This internal crisis is not a sign of failure. It is a call to awaken, to evolve. You are here because you are ready for this call. Your next immediate step will be to understand how to use the 3 fundamental pillars to shield yourself from spiritual challenges and transform this inner struggle into strength and light. Are you ready to take the next step? In the midst of darkness, where everything seems lost, there is something that many cannot see: hope. And it is not a common hope, but a powerful, hidden force waiting to be awakened within. Have you ever felt that even in the worst moments, something seemed to push you forward? This is no coincidence. This is the essence of hope that exists in each of us. But be careful, it does not appear by chance. You need to look for it, recognize it, and cultivate it, because it is she who will illuminate your path. The world you know is changing rapidly, and the difficulties may make it seem like there is no way out. But here is the truth that few understand: the spiritual transformation that is happening around us is also a unique opportunity. It is the chance to start over, to reconnect with what really matters, and to find the strength to overcome even the greatest challenges. This hope is not a fantasy, it is real, concrete, and manifests itself in three forms. Spiritual protection. No matter how chaotic the world seems, those who turn to divine light find shelter. It is not about escaping difficulties, but about having the strength to face them. Guides in the midst of darkness. Signs, people, and revelations appear around you that can guide you, but you need to be attentive because these guides do not shout, they whisper. Internal renewal. True change begins within you when you choose to cultivate your faith and act with love, becoming an active part of this transformation. What you need to understand is that this hope is not passive, it demands action. It asks you to take the reins of your spiritual life and start building the path to something greater. And here is the most important thing: you are not alone on this journey. Every soul that seeks the light connects to something much greater. It is as if each step you take is part of a great plan, something that goes beyond what we can understand. Hope, my friend, is a beacon, and even if you are in the midst of the storm, it is there, waiting for you to see it and move towards it. In the next few moments, you will learn about the three fundamental pillars that support this new path. They are more than concepts. They are practical strategies to help you face any trial. But here is a warning: this knowledge is not for those who stand still. It's for those who are ready to take action, to transform their lives and impact the world around them. Are you ready to discover how to use this hope to shape your future? Now is the time to act. The world is at a crossroads, and what you do from now on can determine not only your future, but the fate of those around you. To face the challenges of this era of transition, you need a foundation, something that will keep you firm even when everything seems to fall apart. These are the three fundamental pillars that can guide you in the darkness. They are not abstract or difficult concepts to understand. On the contrary, they are practical and powerful tools that you can start using today to transform your life and strengthen your faith. 1. Continuous spiritual formation. Knowledge is your best protection. You can no longer live on autopilot, thinking that faith is something that you practice only on Sundays. In times like these, information is not just power, it is survival. Invest in yourself. Read books that nourish your spirituality, attend lectures, seek spiritual mentoring. This is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Because the more you understand your faith, the less vulnerable you will be to attacks that the world constantly launches. Here is a powerful fact: spiritual ignorance is the greatest ally of darkness. The more you educate yourself, the better prepared you will be to resist and act wisely. 2. The family as a sanctuary. Your home needs to be more than a place where you sleep and eat. It needs to be a refuge, a sacred territory where you and your family can connect and strengthen each other. Start with small gestures. Say a prayer together before going to sleep. Set aside daily moments for meaningful conversations, and create an environment where spiritual values are a priority. Your family is your first church, and protecting that space is one of the most powerful ways to resist external forces that try to weaken your faith. Remember, the family is the most important spiritual battlefield. Protect it, strengthen it, because it will be your fortress in the most difficult moments. 3. Action. Live your faith. Faith without action is empty. It is not enough to believe. You need to live your faith daily with concrete acts of love and mercy. Here is a hard truth. The world does not change just with prayers. It changes when we transform our prayers into concrete gestures. If you pray for peace, be a peacemaker. If you pray for love, be the first to extend your hand. God doesn't want spectators, He wants protagonists. He wants you to be the answer to His own prayers and the needs of the world around you. Every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, is a ray of light in the darkness. Why are these pillars essential? Because they are not just individual practices. They are a spiritual shield that protects you and strengthens you to face times of trial. And more than that, they are a call to action, a way to bring light to a world that needs it so much. Now think about it. Are you ready to build this solid foundation in your life? Are you willing to transform knowledge, family, and faith into powerful spiritual weapons? If so, stay with me because what comes next will show you how these practices can profoundly impact your journey. The time has come to face the truth. There is no more time for hesitation or waiting for someone else to do what needs to be done. This is the decisive battle, and you have been called to fight. But pay attention, this battle is not fought with weapons or violence. It happens in the spiritual realm, in the daily decisions that shape who you are and in the impact you have on the world around you. Now more than ever, the world needs people who not only believe, but who live their faith. Do you feel this restlessness, this calling? It's like something inside you knows you weren't meant to be just a spectator. Deep down, you know this is your time to stand up and make a difference. The world is on the brink of transformation, and while many will be lost in doubt and fear, those who act with courage and faith will be the light in the midst of darkness. But be careful, this is not an easy task. What does it mean to fight in this battle? Fighting means abandoning the comfort of inertia and taking a firm stand. It means living your faith so authentically and powerfully that it disturbs evil. It means transforming your prayers into actions that impact the lives of those around you. If you pray for justice, defend those who cannot defend themselves. If you seek love, be the first to offer support. If you desire peace, be the one who reconciles. Because every act of mercy, every gesture of kindness, is a strike against the darkness that tries to dominate this world. But here is the key: you can't do it alone. This is a collective battle, and each soul that chooses the light strengthens the divine cause. So connect with others who share the same mission. Together, you can be a transformative force, because you are essential in this battle. Maybe you ask yourself, what can I do? The answer is simple: you have a unique role. No one else can be you. No one else has your story, your experiences, your vision. Every choice you make, every step you take, contributes to shaping the future. When you act with faith and purpose, you become a beacon for others who are lost. And remember, there is no victory without struggle. The trials you face now are not obstacles, but opportunities. They are moments to strengthen your faith, refine your courage, and prove that you are ready to be a force for change. What is at stake? Everything: the future of your soul, your family, and a world that is changing before your eyes. This is the moment when you decide whether you will be a spectator or a protagonist. And here is the final warning: you cannot ignore this call. Because if you do not answer it, it means conforming, surrendering to the darkness that is trying to dominate this time. But by acting, you don't just resist, you transform. Are you ready to say yes to this battle? Are you prepared to use the pillars you have learned and act with courage even when it is difficult? Don't leave now. The next step will be to discover how to transform every prayer, every thought, and every action into a concrete force of transformation. Imagine this moment as the turning point. All the chaos, all the struggles, all the trials we are facing are not the end, they are the prelude to something much greater. There is a promise that spans time, and it is before us now: rebirth. But pay attention. This rebirth will not come to everyone. It is reserved for those who choose to fight, for those who do not let themselves be overcome by fear and apathy. It is a unique opportunity for transformation, and each step you take on this journey brings you closer to this new beginning. What does rebirth mean? Rebirth is not just about surviving. It is about being transformed from the inside out. It is about abandoning the weight of the past and emerging as someone stronger, wiser, more connected to the divine essence. This rebirth will not be given, it will be achieved. It will be the result of your faith, your choices, and your courage in facing the spiritual challenges of this time. What will this new time be like? The prophecies speak of a renewed world where light prevails over darkness, where hope will not be just an idea, but a tangible reality. But this will only happen if there is a remnant of courageous souls committed to keeping the flame of faith burning even in the darkest moments. And here is the truth you need to remember: you are part of that remnant. You are one of the few who have the opportunity to shape the future, of being a pillar in this new era. The signs that rebirth is near are already visible. While many surrender to despair, others are rising. Vocations that seemed extinct are beginning to resurface, spiritual movements are gaining strength, and ordinary people are becoming agents of transformation in their communities. These signs are no coincidence. They are proof that rebirth is underway. But it depends on you. Every prayer, every act of love, every gesture of faith contributes to bringing this new time to reality. What you must do now, at this moment, the choice is yours. You can continue as you are, watching from a distance, or you can take a step forward and commit to this transformation. If you are ready to be reborn, here is what you need to do. Strengthen your faith. No matter where you are now spiritually, seek to grow, learn, and connect even more deeply with the divine. Live with purpose. Make each day an opportunity to bring light to the world, even in the little things. Share this message. Don't keep it just for yourself. There are many people who need to hear what you have just learned. You realize now that nothing that happened was by chance. All the difficulties, all the struggles, everything brought you to this moment, and now the future is in your hands. This rebirth is not a distant promise. It is something that begins here and now, within you. Are you ready to embrace this transformation and be part of what is to come? We have reached the decisive moment of this journey. Everything you have heard up until now has not been by chance. Every word, every idea, every revelation has been an invitation to something greater, an invitation for you to stop just observing and start acting. If this message has found you, it is because there is something unique within you, something that needs to awaken. You have been called, and the choice is now in your hands. The world is changing, and this transformation cannot be ignored. But here is the most powerful truth of all: the change that really matters starts within you. It is not about what is happening outside. It is about what you choose to do with it. You are stronger than you imagine. You have a light within you capable of piercing even the densest darkness. And this light is not just for you. It is to illuminate the path of others who are lost, who need a lighthouse to guide them. Here is your challenge. You can continue living as before, ignoring the signs, waiting for someone else to do what needs to be done, or you can stand up now and say, I will be the difference. I will be the change the world needs. It takes courage, it takes commitment, it's not easy, but it's possible, and that's why you're here. The question you need to answer: what will you do from this moment on? Will you continue to just consume information, or will you transform what you have learned into action? Will you be a spectator, or a protagonist of this story? Your answer matters because every prayer you make, every gesture of love, every act of faith can change realities, can transform lives, can be the first step towards the spiritual rebirth that the world so badly needs. My message to you: I know it's hard. I know the challenges seem enormous. But I also know that you are capable, and no matter how far away you are now, it's always possible to return to the light. It's always possible to start over. You are not alone. There is a greater force guiding you, protecting you, calling you, and today you have the chance to say yes to this calling. If you have reached this far, it is because something inside you has already understood the importance of this message. Do not ignore it. Use this moment as a milestone, a starting point for a transformation that can change everything. You need to do now: comment, share. In the comments, share your decision, declare, "I am the change," share. Spread this message so more people can hear. Take action, start today, and right now. The smallest gesture can have a powerful impact. This is your moment. The future is in your hands. The choice is yours. Are you ready to be the light the world needs?